Hey everyone, I'm Jude Hotep, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. Really happy to be here with you on this dream quest, Sagittarius new moon. So Sagittarius is mutable energy. We have 7 planets that are mutable with this new moon. This is a time of possibility. It's a time of new beginnings. We have been starting new astrological cycles for a few years now. 36-year cycles, 20-year cycles, 12-year cycle with the Neptune and Jupiter conjunction, and also with Jupiter going into Aries. That's a new cycle. So there is all of this about humanity beginning again, choosing the vibe, Aquarius, the Aquarian age, Uranus energy in Taurus, breaking up old fixed earth, Saturn having been in Aquarius, about no longer about those power dynamics, but about humanity, right? And about vibe. Are we a vibe match, or are we doing Saturn society based upon power, money, greed, control, affluence, and those types of old reasons we got together, right? That we came together as people, or that we associated with each other. And so this Aquarian age is all about new in the future. So we have all of these cycles that have been starting for many years now, and all of this new energy. This is about creating our reality, creating the vibe that we want to put into the future, looking into our future, looking into 2032, when we have the Saturn-Uranus conjunction in 2032. Which is, this is this 10-year period where humanity is said to be evolving, shifting the most, going through a shamanic journey, going through a dark night of the soul as humanity. And so what are we going to create in this 10 years? We get to choose. So if you look at all of these cycles, they each corroborate each other, that we're creating our reality right now. So everyone that's awakened, the more that they come from their heart and choose to be in love, instead of choosing that Aquarius, because everything is shadow and light. So we could go into the Aquarius age and choose to be in the technocratic, sterile Uranus, that Aquarius energy is cold and heartless, very cerebral, up in the mind and up in the higher connected out. So we can choose to go deeper into technology, autonomy, not autonomy, where automated is what I'm looking for, the words like automatic, automated systems. We can choose to get further and further and further away from humanity, emotions, the heart, and love. Or we can choose to do humanity based on love. And so we want to think about the vibe that we're setting forward, especially with this week being the week that typically Americans celebrate the colonization and murder and rape of the indigenous people on this week and call it a celebration. We can set new vibes. We can create new holidays based on liberation of spiritual tyranny, of false history that is falsely written and rewritten for white men that were the ones who colonized and murdered and raped people, to take what they wanted, and stop celebrating the Mayflower as if it's spiritual, was about spiritual freedom. It was about murder and rape and colonization of a people that were here in this country already owning this land. And we can wake up to how history has constantly been rewritten, and wake up to truths and decide our future and live from 2032. The Saturn-Uranus conjunction, we've been in the Saturn-Uranus square all last year, January, June, December. And then this year again in October, and that's coming off. And Saturn's the old way, it's the karma, it's the paradigm, it's society, it is the ways that we've been functioning. But the thing about the planets is that we, again, can do them distorted, or we can do them consciously, and we have to choose to do them consciously. So we've been doing distorted Saturn for a long time. Saturn, that's conscious and beautiful and wonderful, is actually the space holder the boundaries so that something can exist, because nothing exists in physical space if it doesn't have something that holds it in. Like you're not here in this body if you don't have the meat suit. In the Lemurian times, they're said to have had be in their light bodies, but had the cord going to the earthly body. And so there was still a boundary, there was still some sort of structure. So Saturn, Jupiter's inside of Saturn. And so it's like Jupiter is this expansion and higher understanding and optimism and creation and beliefs, the positive, the conscious is like creating beliefs to create what we want to create, and being so optimistic that we can be in possibilities and go out on the adventure. That's Sagittarius energy. We have 4 planets in Sagittarius on this new moon. And I'm going to share the chart with you soon. And so then there's Saturn, and Saturn's like, well, we have to have boundaries. So we have Jupiter at home in Pisces, water energy, right? So we have the raucous river of creation and feminine flowing energy that's amazing and all about creation and being and boundless possibilities and dreaming and the visionary. And that's the thing about Pisces and Sagittarius, is they're both the visionary signs. So exciting. And so it's all this visionary energy right now, creation energy, mutable energy, where you just take reality and you change it and you will it into being. You don't even have to will it much. You just imagine that Pisces, that Jupiter, Neptune conjunction in Pisces right now, imagining that into being. That is what we're building our reality upon. So then there's Saturn, and Saturn is the like, hey, this raucous river of beautiful feminine creation. Pisces must have banks, or otherwise it won't be a river. It'll just be water that flows into the ground and disappears. So it needs the banks of Saturn. Saturn is about space holding in its conscious expression. Saturn in the conscious expression is about, positive, healthy boundaries, about titration. If you're going around a curve and you go to speed up in a fast car and you speed up too much, it gets wily and unwieldy and out of control. If you don't speed up enough, then you go all over the road. So you need to speed up through a curve, but not too much. That Saturn is that titration of how much. But we've been doing distorted Saturn for a long time. So we must understand the difference between distorted Saturn and conscious Saturn. Saturn's not bad. And so often it's like the restrictions and the limitations and and it's horrible and it's hardship. And it's like, only if you want to do it distorted. If you want to keep playing that game, like, have fun. So we can do conscious Saturn. So we want to take our power back and do it powerfully, consciously. And then after that's Uranus, about the higher mind, connection to the galactics energy, connection to our star families, where we come from, being a galactic being soul. And it's cold, right? And then that's why there's Neptune, and Neptune goes back to the heart and the Pisces energy and the compassion, unconditional love. And then there's Pluto, which Pluto seems like such death and destruction and mayhem. However, again, it's like distorted Scorpio, the underworld and the mafia and strip clubs and sexualization of women, and they don't have to burn us at the stake. They gave us the fire, and women just objectify their own bodies everywhere and mutilate their bodies to be grotesque for somebody to approve of them, or somebody to like them, or to fit into some psychopath or some narcissistic or some guy with a Napoleon complex that's got the kinky hair and the lotion and some weird Neverland world that they created, to fit into that. And so it's like Pluto actually has an iceberg shaped heart on it that's saying, like, no, when you go through the transformation of emotions, you gain humility, you gain the transformation, the rebirth, the phoenix rising, and humility, compassion, empathy, these things that make us connected to our heart, that allow us to be in love. I really encourage everyone to stop using this bad, good and light, dark, equating them with bad, good, because here's the thing, we're in this procession, this 26,000 year cycle. We were in the so-called dark 26,000 years. That's a perfect example of Pisces. Like Pisces is the heart. It is deep compassion. It is divine love. It is imagination, dreaming, and visionary things. But we chose to go unconscious, and we chose to do distorted Pisces and go into the cesspool of Pisces and the darkness. And so we went to escapism and drugs and alcohol and the karma and the past life patterns and cycles of debauchery and depravity, and not the sacredness of Pisces, the lack of sacredness. So then we have Aquarius, where it's like, we want to do Aquarius consciously. So we need to be conscious. We want to think about what we're creating, think about 2032 and looking back, because that Uranus Saturn conjunction that we're having in June of 2032, this 10-year period that we have, all of these new cycles starting, is all about, Saturn, the structures, the society, and the boundaries, the banks of the river, and Uranus, new, the future, being connected to our star family, our soul family, where we came from, but from the heart, from love, and truly centered in our place of power in our heart. And love is a state of consciousness. Love is something to really study and understand deeply, because it's not an emotion. It is an emotion, but when we talk about love like this, what we're actually talking about, and there's a distortion in the spiritual community, we're talking about the state of consciousness that is beyond reason. It's beyond intellect. We're talking about something that's much higher, that makes everything else irrelevant. It makes science and intellect and reason irrelevant. And so we want to understand what's happening here in this 10-year period to keep our frequency high, but a frequency of love, and realize, don't conflate awakened or consciousness with benevolence. The two are not equal. Consciousness does not mean benevolence. It does not mean coming from the heart. Awakened does not mean benevolence and coming from the heart. So we have to really use our Virgo discernment with that Pisces divine love and deep compassion and care for people, coming with the heart, not being naive and really dupable, I guess, if that's a word. And really being conscious, awake, aware, understanding our own motivations. That's why we must do our own internal work and shadow work. This Light Goddess is all about divine feminine soulpreneurs, female entrepreneurs that understand that there's been a suppression of the feminine, not just within women, but within all of humanity, that has hindered all of us from evolving. And we should have been evolving so much beyond where we're at the moment. And they're aware of that, and they're doing a business not only for money, or not only for some approval or aplomb or appraisal, but for the soul, for love, for something higher, because they know their value and what they're here to create. So I hope that's you. And so you have this opportunity with your work and your impact in the world to make money as a woman, so that your value system is reflected in the culture and society, and that we can put feminine values back into the culture and society, so that we can rewrite the vibes, so that we're not celebrating Columbus Day and this week's celebration of murder and colonization, and instead celebrate the liberation of historical lies, of programs that we've been programmed under and socialized to normalize abuse, normalize narcissistic leadership and influencers, as if that's normal. There's that quote about, it's not well adjusted. It's not, a sign of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. We really have to keep that quote in mind when we're thinking about this next 10 years and what we're creating, and really create from that Saturn-Uranus conjunction. Think about yourself in 2032. Think about the vibe, the legacy you're leaving for this 10 years, and looking back yourself in 2032, looking back at what you created and the legacy you left, and all the people you helped heal and awaken and to liberate, so they can radiate and shine their light, shine their amazing gifts and feminine genius they bring here. So many women are not in touch with the depths of their feminine genius that is bottomless and so amazing. And so many amazing, beautiful, divine masculine men are not able to step into that, or comfortable, or feel empowered to be in that space, because of so much of the patriarchy and the spells and the doing in that it has done to men in our culture and society, to really make masculinity this depraved, debaucherous, distorted thing. And that's not true masculinity. And so we want to look at the vibes that we're rippling out into the future, and think about the future and how that, what you want to envision for then, is rippling back to you right now. So this new moon is at 1 degree. The next 5 new moons are at 1 degree, except the Aries new moon next year will be at 0 degrees. So Aries, that new moon at 0 degrees before the nodes change and the North Node changes from Taurus into Aries next summer, is very, very important, because it's all about our identity as humanity, our identity individually. It's about who we want to be. It's about ego and healthy ego. It's about healthy pride, and not having the lack of pride that we've had, or the ego, prideful, self-gratification, weird, like, entity thing that a lot of people have in the culture and society. So we want to have a healthy ego, and we want to have a healthy identity, and we want to choose the identity of humanity, like, that we're not homogenizing ourselves, that we're this grand diversity of all of these many threads. None of us come from the same places. We're all from different star families and different places in the multiverse. And so we bring so much magic and so much diversity, and we want to revel in the diversity that all of us bring, and not get homogenized, because at Aquarius, the 2 wavy lines can also be homogenization. So if you think about that, technology, lack of heart, cold, sterile, homogenization, everybody wearing gray spacesuit kind of vibe. Seriously, that is a possibility if you entertain that, and if you're not conscious, and we're not conscious. So if you think about this 26,000 year cycle, this big cycle of how we had the Pisces period era, and then, we went dark, we went unconscious, we went distorted, and how we're going into this Aquarius time, and how the new 26,000 year cycle after this cycle will be, dark, for lack of a better word. Again, going back to the dark, it goes light, dark, just like the moon goes around. We're in this balsamic phase as I'm recording this on Sunday, as we're leading up to the new moon, the dark moon, birth, rebirth, new visioning, new creation, and then it peaks up and moves up to that full moon 2 weeks later, at that culmination, that peak, that illumination of things, right? And so if you think about these big 26,000 year cycles just the same as the moon's 28-day cycle, then you'll see and understand how this dark coming up doesn't have to be the depraved version of dark that we've lived. It could simply be contrast, and we have to even call it contrast, because it won't really be dark so much anymore. It's a new kind of dark. It's just, instead of depravity, instead of narcissism and lack of love and heart and emotions and empathy and compassion, it's, just contrast for evolution. So realize that we're evolving infinitely. We're in an infinite evolution, and humanity is evolving at this insane rate right now. So this moon is all about Sagittarius energy, which is optimistic. It's the adventure, it's the journeying. So I'm calling this moon the dream quest, because Jupiter's in Pisces at home. So it's the dream, the visualization. And so be the visionary, because it's Pisces Sag energy, and it's all this mutable energy of possibility and adaptability, ability to change and to roll with it and to shift, to be in the improv of life. And it's fun, and it's creation energy, it's manifestation. And so you're just manifesting. And I want to talk about that and get into that, because this is really important about how I want to show you real life examples of how you really do create your reality. And I do this work in Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program. I only have 2 spots open at the moment. And there's often a waiting list. So you can book a complimentary goddess call on thegoddessastrologer.com if you are entertaining, you know, really moving through shadow issues that are holding you back from making the money you want to make as a woman and becoming more visible, speaking your voice as a woman and being out there, being seen and heard as a woman. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of moving through shadow stuff and really being in this place where you can keep upgrading your self-worth and your self-love as you are stepping into greater and greater goals that always provoke all the self-worth issues, right? So definitely book that complimentary goddess call if you are feeling called to be in a new place next year, because we have Jupiter stationing on this new moon as well. I'm going to share this chart with you, which means that Jupiter is super powerful in Pisces. And so Jupiter's at home in Pisces, conjunct Neptune, where they're both rule both at home with Pisces, associated with Pisces. And so here's Jupiter and Neptune in that Pisces energy. They're not a super close conjunction right now, but they are in a conjunction. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So Jupiter at home in Pisces, this dreaming, visionary energy, this energy of possibilities, optimism, creation. So let's talk about manifestation manifestation and demystify it, and like stop being mystified by manifestation. And I teach this all over Light Goddess in my podcast. If you don't know, I have a podcast that has 450 episodes. I do the sun sign horoscopes every Monday in the astro weather called Sacred Stardust. I will have some new episodes coming out soon. But there's 450 episodes on divine feminine soulpreneurship. So running a business on your feminine flow, you know, embodied alchemy as a woman, and taking that shadow and alchemizing it into your power and reclaiming your innate value and making money as a woman. So your value system is out in the world and making that amazing impact and speaking and doing the amazing things that you want to do. So the podcast is free and there's so much content there for you. Let's talk about manifestation, about how you create your reality, because all of this is about new beginnings and dreaming. Dreaming is not meant, I have this poem I put on my Instagram that I wrote in January of this year, and you can go check it out at Peace Hotep on Instagram if you'd like. But I posted it because the beginning line is like, I don't believe in dreams anymore. Because it's like, in my life, the way it went, it was like the dream was always on the horizon. It was like, I don't know how the fuck I got to do it, but I'm going to pull that dream off the horizon and start living it as my lifestyle right now. Maybe I can only live this one piece for now. Maybe, you know, I keep pulling in strands. Maybe I quantum leap. I don't know, but I'm not keeping that dream on the horizon anymore. Dreams are not meant to be on the horizon. They're not meant to be a one-day thing. That is part of the spell and programs of the culture. You know, retirement. One day I'll be in retirement and I'll do all the fun things. That's a program. Did you come to be as a soul, as a galactic being, incarnate into a body on the planet, and then do school, marriage, you know, career, marriage, kids, picket fence, retirement, death? Like, does that make sense at all? So realize that that's a part of the program. And it's like we got to pull the dream into now. So here's a real life example of how we create a reality. Like, say that, you know, you have this unconscious belief in your subconscious that like people are always out to get you. Like, people are always out to get you. And say you've had traumatic experiences in your childhood and past life karma that echoed into this life because it hasn't been wrapped up yet. And that's also what we do in Alchemical Goddess, my coaching program. And so you have this unconscious belief in your subconscious. So when you are in your bubble, so to speak, the ecology of your reality, the ecology of your reality, and you're in that reality, and you're going to Target, or you're going to the grocery store, or you're going out with friends, or you're going to someone's house, then people that would be out to get you and manipulate you and hurt you and want to do you wrong and really see you as a marker target can now enter your reality and do a lot of damage and get you, you know, because you have that unconscious belief going on. However, say you find that belief and you start eradicating it, reprogramming it, and now that belief has been completely deleted and is no longer in your programming anymore. And you have amazing beliefs like, you know, I just meet soulmate. I have amazing soulmate relationships. I'm so satisfied with my relationships. They're reciprocal and loving and nurturing. You know, beliefs like that are now programmed into your subconscious. When you go to those same places, stores, out to eat, go to friends' houses, that person that would, you know, come into, pass through your reality, now they don't even see you. It's like you're invisible because your belief system doesn't allow them to come into your reality, because that's not a part, no longer a part of your reality, that people are out to get you. So they can't even come into your reality. They can maybe pass through your ecosphere, like their reality. Let's say it's a circle around them, and you're in a circle in your reality. The circles might pass through each other, but they can never interact and come in and actually do damage to you and target you. And the people that would come into your reality that are nourishing and nurturing and have reciprocal relationships with you come in, and you work with each other and meet and connect and have amazing blossoming. So that's why, if you're ever wondering, like, why have I never attracted the guy or the girl or the thing I wanted, or it's because of the subconscious beliefs. We literally write our whole reality based on our subconscious beliefs. Also, the emotions that we hold. Emotions are the bridge between our soul and our personality, and allow us to really let go of programming and be aware of programming that's in there. And so we experience the emotions that we have. We experience that. So that's part of our reality. The subconscious beliefs, we attract that and we experience that. So that's what creates our reality. So we really are all living individual realities constantly, all the time, on this micro scale, but then also on macro, greater scales as well. So realize that this is actually tangible. Quantum physics gets quite complex, right? But let's just make it super, super simple. It's tangible and real, how you create your reality. So this new moon right here in Sag, this week, it's Sunday today, as I'm recording this. You'll be listening to this whenever, with the new moon happening on Wednesday at 4:57 p.m. So at 5 p.m., Central Time in the United States. Adjust for your time zone. And Venus ingressed into Sag last week on Thursday, I believe, or Wednesday, and then Mercury followed, and now Mercury is going faster than Venus. And so they ingressed into Sag and bumped us into Sag. Venus moved out of that Scorpio energy, much happier Venus. Venus is our deep desires. It's our passions. It's what we want. It's our love. It's our longing. It's our desire. And it's our passion energy and our love energy. And it's really understanding our resourcefulness, what we have within us to create products, services, impact in the world, being a voice, being simply inspiration. Do not underestimate being compassionate to someone and how much that might move and change their world and might shift them and quantum leap them. Do not underestimate compassion. Do not underestimate listening to somebody and hearing them out. There's a lot of confuckery in the culture saying that people need to take responsibility and people need to stop being telling sob stories and all these things. There are people who do that to manipulate others. And then there's people who do that because they have not gone through the shadow yet. They have not had an opportunity to heal yet. And they may have never had anyone who ever gave them love ever. Realize that perhaps you grew up with love. Not everybody does. A lot of people actually grow up with unlove. Do not underestimate the power of compassion. Do not underestimate the power of space holding and witness to other people. If you cannot do it because you're not fully resourced yourself, then don't do it. kindly decline and move on. But if you can, be that light, be that loving embrace to that person, that where they might so need that, and that might quantum leap them and awaken them out of the programs and spells, and awaken them to childhood, you know, patterns and things that they're just starting to see, and like, oh my God, and they can start coming out of it. You never know that the simplest of actions is big. And also realize the simplest of actions can also be big to you, and remind you of how amazing you are and how much you really have to give, that maybe you're not really showing up and giving. So really do everything you can in your power to keep your frequency high, but that does not mean ignoring how you really feel, what you're really thinking. The emotions, the shadow, it does not mean that. It means having the skills to know how to move through that and alchemize it. That's why my coaching program is called Alchemical Goddess, because I teach true alchemy. It's actually a real thing. It's not just this kind of like spiritual fun word, or like turning lead into gold, like, which is really just a metaphor. It's really a real amazing skill that you can use. So this Sag energy is the optimism. It is the adventurer. It is the one that travels far distances, galactic distances, higher understanding coming in. And it just knows everything will be good. And it's that fire energy of love and fun and talking and socializing and excitement and passion, enthusiasm. So that fire energy is just so amazing, and creation energy and warmth and fun, right? And so it's this energy of like going and crossing boundaries, because having that optimism that believes reality into place, but knowing that if challenge occurs, you can handle it as it occurs. Our wild instinctual nature teaches that we meet challenges as they occur. It's one of my favorite people's quote, Clarissa Pinkola essays. It's one of my favorite all-time quotes, because we don't have to brace for the bad. We don't have to be in PTSD or these anxieties. We really have to believe in ourselves to be that Taurus North Node, that we have the resourcefulness within ourselves to MacGyver something up, to rig something up, to figure it out, to channel through us the knowing of what the hell to do when a challenge occurs, and that we simply just need to respond in the moment as it occurs. We don't need to brace and do that unconscious Taurus hoarding, saving, the old way of doing money, which is Taurus. Money is our wealth and banking systems, and our money and our abundance and our prosperity consciousness. So really with Uranus and that North Node being in Taurus only until next summer, so we don't have much more time with it. You know, that's our evolutionary potential as humanity right now, is to understand more about money and stop being so fear-based about money. Realize that out there in the mass media, which is the Neptune projection, tell a vision. It's telling you a vision of project fear. Be very afraid, lots of doom and gloom. Even in the spiritual community, realize that there's always this dark side of the light worker. There's a lot of people that are not good and do not have a good intentions, and are wanting you to just keep them as your source of information and keep you afraid and keep you controlled and manipulated. And so realize to be your own Saturn authority, create your own Neptune vision. We have to do the stars consciously. We can do this. This is what I teach in my upcoming masterclass that I'm doing. It's going to be on Fridays, every Friday, in my Facebook group container, the Temple of the Wild Feminine. You can join my Facebook group for free. The class is going to be $22 to join, so that you have a buy-in, so that you have a stake in showing up and getting something out of it for yourself. But it will be a continuous class ongoing every single Friday. And so it's just that one-time fee to stake your claim, and then it's free thereafter. So it's really like an entrance fee. But then the class is actually free every single Friday. We're going to go deep into your own astrology. So you're going to get a chart. We're going to start with the moon. You're going to find out what your moon is and what you need to be okay emotionally. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to give real life examples. So you start to understand the basics of astrology and realize that it's not arcane, which means difficult to understand. It's not abstruse, which means difficult to understand. It's not over your head. I promised you. This is stuff you would innately get because it's all mythology. It's all story. It's all archetypes. This is in us. This is in us. This is tribal times, indigenous populations, interconnectedness with all of life and existence. We know these stories. We know these mythologies. So realize that this is this power that you have. So come join me in the masterclass. I will have links under this video, but I'll have them by this Friday. So come look for the links. That'll also be in my Facebook group. So if you just come join the Facebook group, I'll have the links for how you join the class there. The Facebook group is called Temple of the Wild Feminine, or you can search for Jude Hotep and find me. And so I hope to see you in this class, because this is going to be monumental. It's going to be so amazing. Just sitting around and talking about yourself and getting to know yourself deeply, you start to like understand like why you were judged, or why you were judging, or why people were like admonishing you or putting you down. And you start to realize that you were put together. Your natal chart is this magical puzzle that was put together by your soul, higher self, on purpose. And you start to love yourself in ways that you never thought possible. This will explode your brain. This is going to be quantum leaps. We are going to be manifesting money. We are going to be moving forward in our respective soul visions and soul missions and entrepreneurship. We are going to be handling and tackling all of the issues that come up and really understanding it from levels where you will never not get this stuff ever again, and how to move through shadow and to have this in your back pocket, to be an crazy, empowered, strong, confident woman in the world. So I'm really excited about this masterclass. I'm like so excited. I'm just to the moon excited. So so this is happening in, again, Temple of the Goddess Facebook group. Okay, so let's get back to this new moon. So the Sagittarius energy, the adventure. Jupiter rules this new moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune. Pisces, compassion, deep divine love. Have more compassion for yourself. This is wild times, because Mars is out of bounds. It means that it's traveling beyond the 23-degree elliptical. And also, look at this. So remember how I was talking about all of these new cycles that started, and that this is like a 1-degree moon, another new cycle. Well, we had the Jupiter Pisces, the Neptune Jupiter in Pisces conjunction April 12th, right? And so that was a new beginning, because a conjunction is a new beginning. So it was these two rulers of soul, Pisces, coming together and saying, we're going to do this new. Jupiter beliefs and Neptune about coming back to the heart and being the visionary from the heart, and expansion, and just being able to understand the gestalt, the boundless infinite, that we're all connected in unity before we get to Pluto, right? So it was all about humanity doing it from soul, not the Pisces way we did it from darkness, but conscious Pisces, beautiful Pisces, not drugs and alcohol. We don't need drugs and alcohol to awaken anymore. We are awakening. We don't need to have the doors of perception blown open with drugs and things. You can, and people are like really doing a lot of helpful stuff, but the whole thing about how hallucinogens have taken off to help PTSD, to help people awaken, is that we are doing Pisces with hallucinogens now in this world. How there's hallucinogenic coaches and a lot of microdosing and a lot of this going on. We're doing it consciously now. This is amazing. This is like what we're supposed to be doing. It's so freaking exciting. So it's just like, we are doing it. Women are rising all over this planet, which is also what this new moon is about. So Lilith is out of bounds as well. So they're both traveling out of the normal range of the ecliptic. So just to complete that thought, that there's wily energy, 7 planets mutable. So out of bounds, what's that mean? That means like somebody like walking into your house with poop on their shoe and dragging it all over your house, or just like somebody walking up into your house because you're like cleaning the porch and the door's open, they just like walk in and you're like, this is out of bounds. Like, what are you doing? Right. So it's like out of bounds things. Those are just some examples to help you understand like what is out of bounds energy. You know, also Mercury and Sag, it's foot in your mouth energy. So realize that people are probably extra talkative and there's a little bit of like not saying what you want meant to say or what you mean kind of energy with perspective and communication. So realize that. And so just know that that's happening. Okay, so what's really one of the most important things is Eris, the goddess of discord, she's called, because she'll give no fuck. She will disrupt the status quo. Uranus is also the disruptor of the status quo, disrupting the status quo of the fixed earth, the old paradigms, right? To say, no, there's unfairness, there's inequality, there's things happening that are not right, like narcissistic influencers, like abuse being normalized in our culture. Remember the quote I shared with you earlier. And so we have this quintile. I don't know if I said quintile earlier. I think I said something else, but we have this quintile to Lilith, and Lilith is all about our anger. So there can be a lot of out of bounds anger and rage happening right now where people have never been allowed to feel angry. They were taught as kids that anger is not okay, or they took in that belief and program somewhere along the line, or they've had no initiation to sacred rage practice to have a safe container and a way to release rage and anger in a safe, beautiful way, which really engages your empowerment and brings back your retrieving of your power. This Lilith energy. Lilith is where we've been subservient due to programs and spells and abuses, and where that anger and rage comes, which then transforms and reclaims power once again. And so we have this quintile, which is flowing, creative, amazing, beautiful, just loving soul energy between the goddess that says, no, inequality doesn't stand here. This is not okay. And I will disrupt things going on. I will disrupt the dinner and the meal. Thank you. This is not okay. I'm not celebrating the colonization and rape and murder of my ancestors. I'm indigenous. I will disrupt this week. I will speak up when an animal is being abused. I will speak up to this woman in the grocery store is abusing a child right in the grocery store, like I did earlier this year in Nashville, Tennessee. And that was a very hard moment. This other woman was like crying because it was like triggering her and the abuses she had went through. And I was like, I'm not standing for this. And at the end, I finally said, look, I said, you deserve love. And I just got really quiet, which means that she had to get quiet to hear me because she's on defense, you know? And I'm like, you deserve love. And it just shocked her out of her whole paradigm and what she was doing. And I don't know if that little girl ever is going to be okay or not. You know, I doubt it. I doubt the mother's just going to suddenly change, but I hope it gave her some sort of a awakening. It did in that moment. And, you know, I will speak to wrong power and twisted alchemy and twisted power. Absolutely. So, and so that's what this quintile is all about, is women are rising all over the planet, standing in their power, standing in their visibility, enacting the feminine energies, anchoring them back into culture, society, and the world again, and saying we have to bring back the feminine, the sweet water. Nothing exists, nothing grows, nothing works without the sweet water. So it's deep feminine energies. What else is really important? So Ceres, which is this goddess of fertility, fecundity, agriculture, grains, crops. She has a septile, which is this, you know, out of bounds energy, this galactic energy, this higher mind, higher understanding, gifts, miracles, magic, you know, alien, otherworldly energy with the South Node. So that's this energy of like, hey, you know, the past, the South Node, the past, where we came from, the debauchery, the depravity, the psychodramas that are all up in the Jerry Springer of life, like normalizing abuse and dysfunctional human dynamics. That's not, you know, not coming from love, not coming from compassion. You know, wholesome does not have to be where you don't say pussy. I'm in the city and it's just like so beyond wholesome, but it's like where it's like, man, if you're doing wholesome in the wrong way, then you're just creating more of that backwards issue that makes sex taboo and different things. It's like, we can say pussy, it's okay. You know, we can talk about life and all of the realities, and it's okay, but we can, you know, wholesome, we can make it sexy and bring it back. And so there's this septile of like this interesting galactic energy that's changing things up and switching things up. And then we have Neptune with this biseptile to Venus. So it's like this Venus energy, love. And then, you know, Venus is exalted in Pisces. And so Neptune at home in Pisces, and that loving soul, divine compassion energy, and artistry, right? Artistry, like apply artistry to your life. Think about the artistry of your life. You're creating this next 10 years. You're creating this vision with this new moon. Life is malleable. It is completely full of it, like how you want to create it. It's completely like molding clay, like sculpting clay. Like you can just sculpt reality right now and create it. And so think about that energy. And this Venus, like love and sad, she's happy, and that fire and passion and enthusiasm, and then that soulful energy. So that septile is there. Also, we have you know, we have this Neptune square to Mars. So they're out in the world, project fear. Don't buy into fear, don't buy into doom, and don't buy into money fear. It's not true. It's trying to keep you in that shortage mentality, that scarcity mindset. It's trying to keep you in fear, because when you're in fear, you're controllable. Think about your frequency and think about what raises your frequency. Reading high frequency books, being in nature and grounding on the earth, doing things that make you laugh, being your positivity, just being with animals and their funny little things they do, or children with their funny little things they do, or staying away from things that really bring you down. So it's really important. This is the dream quest. This is creating what you want to see, but like really think long term. Sag is long term. It is long distances. So think of 2032 backwards to now, and really create the dream. Really create the vibe that you want to stand as your future self there, and send back to yourself now. Like, I helped create the legacy of this vibe. Think of yourself as an ancestor then, that you are now. Your future self is, you know, is you're the ancestor to your future self. I don't know, it's in my head like beautifully, but it's not coming out in words. So yeah, there's that. We're gonna go into the sun sign horoscopes, because this is so fun, but this is really about creating your reality. Realize that we're creating all of these new cycles. The next 5 months is so many, you know, Pluto is changing signs, Saturn's changing signs. When outer planets change signs, it's a really big deal. Realize that Mars, Neptune squares, project fear, delusion, illusion. It's idealization. Keep yourself out of idealization that's not real, because like, realize the reason we get stuck in idealization is because of the longings and the yearnings and the motivations inside ourselves that we don't realize. So ego motivations, longing and yearnings, and Neptune Pisces energy is longings and yearnings for what we really want, what we really wanted, and the love we didn't get, and the things we think we need, and the ego desires that we think would get us approved of or loved or make us feel special. We have to wake up to those things and be willing to be brave and courageous enough to face them with a coach or somebody you love, or somebody that can hold space for you, or in a safe container, or with yourself in your journal, and go through that shadow and that transformation to rise into your power, goddess. All right, let me make sure I'm sharing the screen with you. I'm going to go into the sun sign horoscopes for all 12 signs. I hope this is amazing. Please like this video if you like this video. It really helps. This is a growing YouTube channel, so it really helps the metrics. Also, if you could please subscribe. But really, subscription is just about you getting the updates that the videos are coming out. So subscribe if you want to know when they come out, so you don't have to think about it, and it's just on autopilot, pops up in your feed, and it's like, oh yeah, yay, the new moon or the full moon video. And then I have a lot of good stuff coming. Also, remember about my new masterclass. It's an astrology portal, and it's about loving yourself and going deep, and we're going to do real magic and alchemy. So this is feminine alchemy, and it's my masterclass. It's a $22 entry fee for 2022 entry fee, but then it's free, and it's going to be every Friday. And so you just join Temple of the Wild Feminine Facebook group on Facebook, and I'll let you in, and you can pay the entry fee, and then you're in the class every Friday. We're going to meet, and is going to be very, very powerful, I promise you. So I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to get back to some teaching and us all chatting about our charts, and you will understand things like you've never understood them before. I hope to see you there. I'm also really strict about the container. It has to be people who are like, willing to face their stuff, people that are not, it's like, we're not gonna talk certain things. Definitely it's a container that's about confidentiality, that feels sacred and feels holy, and is about women rising. So I'm really strict about the container and keeping it sacred. So let me get the right screen up for us all. All right. Oh, cool. You are screen sharing this. Cool. Because I wasn't sharing this before, and that wasn't helpful. All right. Awesome. Yay. Just like writing on the screen randomly is what it looked like. But so this will have chapters up. You can move right to your rising sign, which is your natal chart, and then you can go to your sun sign, which will give you this great picture of what this new moon is really about, more detailed and concentrated in your life specifically. Okay. Get rid of that, go away. And then I'm going to pull cards for us as well. Yay, super fun. I'm glad for the chapters. Now you can just like move to where you want to go. Let me grab the cards. Use my two favorite decks right now. I don't want to put this card back in the deck, but I'm going to. I've been looking at this card. It's been powerful for me. I pulled cards the other day. I haven't pulled cards in like months and months and months. Crazy. Used to be like pretty standard pastime. But that's what happens when you're in a dungeon. All right. Let's do Aries. Let me move this up. Get out of my way. Aries, so Sag energy, obviously your true blood, it's your 9th house. So this is all about expansion, being that visionary leader in your business. So how are you coming with your expertise? How are you feeling with your expertise? Do you feel confident? Do you feel secure in that? Are you in a superiority vibe over people because you're not dealing with the inferiority or feelings there? To stand confidently and truly in your expertise is not about being superior to other people. You have no reason to be superior. We're all leaders in our own right. We all have expertise in our own right. And everybody has value to give everybody else, and resource and sharing. And that's the conscious expression of Aquarius, humanity, right? All coming together and sharing all of our amazing expertise and genius. And so we to check in with, like, as you're standing as a leader, like, are you not standing as a leader in your business? Are you not upgrading to the next level? So this is new moon, 1 degree, blossoming, mutable energy. What do you want to create? Who do you want to be? What's the vibe that you want to carry? Think of your future self in 2032, looking back to now, like who is she? And who do you want to carry, and who do you want to be? This is very much about you rising when it comes to your family and any sort of old dynamics there, any sort of people holding you down, or narcissists that you're not realizing, or trying to get a narcissist to see you and love you, and being in those old narcissists. You have to just be done. You can't keep a narcissist in your life, or you will be dimmed, and you will be in old patterns, and you will never know your genius. You will never know your value. It's also about rising in yourself as who you are, loving yourself, affirming and being that firm who you are, loving who you are, knowing the value of you, seeing the value of yourself, being willing to be a disruptor, to be yourself and be authentic. That if who your authentic self is triggers people or disrupts things, maybe that's not your milieu. Maybe that's not your circle. Maybe that's not your place. So be willing to trigger people, be the disruptor, to be authentic. Do not give up your authenticity. And really see if there's anger around family and old issues, subconscious issues, and old stuck emotions. And really look at that dynamic around home life, and if there is anger needing to be released around home or childhood issues. So really important. All right, Aries, I'm going to pull you a card. Realize that you're creating a new world. Also, you're also really in this magic of weaving what you want to weave with your audience and your business, but also in communities and connections, friendships. Something else that's important. Where are you at? My new favorite asteroid. Also realize that you can do some real alchemy when it comes to standing in your power in your business. So there might be some issues with standing in your business. So you have the alchemy ability to transform what is not working and useful into your power. You have Turkey. So honor your own time of harvest, and not feeling rushed, not feeling like you have to do it on someone else's timeline, not being pushed, listening to your own feminine energies within, and offering your gifts to humanity, bringing them forward, and doing that in the time that actually serves you, not others. Don't let people push you. Like, listen to your own energies and your own, because the thing is when you stop working hard and grinding and hustling, and you just listen to your insides, you will have inspired action flow through you. You will create amazing, wonderful things. So trust your joy, Aries. Trust your feminine energies that know how to take care of you, and trust that money comes when you do that. So find your sacred flow in a self-care message. So very much collaborating the astrology and the feather card, that there's a lot of needing to be fully resourced as a woman here, needing to listen to your energies, not external voices of a timeline, somebody else's timeline, or what you should do or when you should do it. Are you listening to your own energy of what you have the energy to do? Mars is retrograde. We don't have the energy to do as much. And so we just have to be real about that. So go where your energy flows, because that's where you have power. Pull you one more card, Aries. This card wants to come forward for you. Shift the way to new potential. It's upright, Aries. So shift the way to new potential, meaning that this is all mutable energy. You're creating your reality. You really are manifesting here what you desire. And if you don't believe it, it can't come into your reality. It really truly is. And I can, in Alchemical Goddess, you program beliefs within 2 weeks. It should never take more than 2 weeks to program in a new belief. So if it's seeming like what you're doing is not working and not taking a long time, you might want to book complimentary goddess call, or come into the Temple of the Divine Feminine container. So that's a beautiful card, about really understanding that potential turns into reality. Okay. All right, Aries, I'm gonna leave it at that. Taurus. Taurus, so for you, this new moon is in your 8th house. So this is amazing energy of creation, really connecting to that sacral energy, sacral chakra, connecting to your creation energy. This is about like pure creation. This is about connection to your guides. This is about the metaphysical and the occult and the spiritual connection, like understanding your soul first. And are you listening to that? Are you connected to your guides and channeling and using your gifts? And are you valuing your gifts? So many women look as other people are the ones that are gifted. You're gifted, you have genius within you. You may have just never had the space for that genius to well up and bubble up and for you to ever even touch it or know it's there. And when you start creating, Taurus, then more and more and more creation flows through you. So you have to trust the process. You have to allow the process. You have to allow yourself to suck at it. You have to allow yourself to have different values too, because that Taurus, we can be fixed, right? So you have to allow yourself to have different Taurus values. That Taurus isn't just about like working hard and practicality, which it can be said to be, right? Taurus is about understanding the resources you have within you, that you're amazing and you're high quality and you bring massive value, and understanding that value is why it's about self-love and creating money. So Taurus knows how to create money. So this is a new moon that's like money creation, and the 8th house is all about other people's money. So creating your amazing services and products and making money and moving forward on your trajectory of your impact that you're here to make. You're not here to play around. You have this amazing energy in the house of karma, but also the house of visionary dreaming, to bring in so much help and compassion and creative energy from your higher self and the galactics, and to really look at if there's any anger to release around mindset, programming, disillusionment, old things in the subconscious. There might be anger to release there. That's really important with this new moon. Reclaim, go through any anger to reclaim your power in that you are in control of your mind. Don't let your mind drive the bus. Put your mind in the car seat in the back of the car, and you, soul, higher self, drive that car. You do not have to let your mind run crazy with the chitter chattering, and learn the skill of managing the brain, which is what we do in Light Goddess. It's everywhere. And what I do, there's so many podcast episodes on that if you'd like. So definitely check those out. It'll help you so much if you're having problems with the mental chatter, and really stand in your empowerment with how you're thinking, because your mindset, your perspective on everything in life is so what you experience. It is so to what you then create. It is so to what limits you or allows you. It's what gives you permission or says, no, you can't. So realize that this is an important moon to stand in your power and your mindset. So anything that's preventing that, it's like, what do you need to do to shift that? But there's a lot of creative help coming through. So ask for the help. Like, what do I need to know? Who do I need to get with? What do I need to see, learn? And it will flow in for you. There's this flow and creative help there. You have so much alchemy ability in your house of being this visionary leader. So anything that's in your way or limitation or a hindrance, you can just alchemize into your power and use it for good. Use it for love, heart-centered healing and awakening of people. So know that you have powerful alchemy in that way. Realize that this moon has a lot to do with your building your audience and your business, a lot to do with friendships and connections and people and groups and collaborations. So this new moon, making money, being more centered in the lovingness of yourself and knowing your value, loving yourself, like upgrading self-worth right now with this new moon, and about building your audience, expanding your reach, being more visible in the world. And you have a lot of alchemy with whatever hindrances that might want to be stopping that, Taurus. All right, so I'm going to pull this feather card for you. All the cards are so pretty. I just want to like grab them. These cards don't like to come out like one. It's almost, I think these cards want me to pull them in a different way because they don't just fly out. The way that I do cards is I like I have the cards pop out, but the feather ones like won't do it. And it's like it's the one that I don't know. I think it's just a different skill, different way. But all right, Taurus, you got the ostrich card. The choice is clear for you now. So follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart, Taurus. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. The choice is clear for you. So really talking about clarity, talking about letting your heart lead you, trusting that. Are you letting the mind lead? And then there might be some anger that needs to release for you to get to the heart, because maybe there's been vulnerabilities that were misused, or heart-centeredness or love that was misused or abused. And so maybe there's some anger to release to allow you to get to that place and be willing to be in the heart, which can feel very vulnerable sometimes. So, all right, cards, let's do, I need to shuffle these. I need to clear these out tonight. I do the daily astrology every day on my TikTok, so you can join me there. Follow me there for daily astrology. What wants to come out for you, Taurus? All right, this came flying out. External validation. So really look and see if you're looking for external validation for that appraisal, aplomb, approval. Are you seeking for someone to make you feel special? Are you seeking for someone to make you feel approved of, or to make you feel like you belong? Because that will do you in, because then you're seeking this external, you're seeking someone else instead of being led by your heart. And that ostrich card was really clear, like being led by your heart, not trying to feel special or feel loved or feel approval because somebody outside of you makes you feel that way, and perhaps you never had it and you haven't been dealing with the shadow, etc. So this is like, when we're going up to next year, it's really important to deal with the shadow now, because it's going to get intense. Befriend the word polarize. So the duality that we live here on earth is really important, because we have this light and dark. We have narcissists and abusers, and we have love and coming from the heart. And it can be a mind fuck. And we have to realize that we are in this duality. However, we really have to let go of the duality of bad and good and right and wrong, because that's just not really the case. It's love and unlove. That's really what it is. It's not bad and good, because there's shadow and light in everything. And shadow and light have their respective, they work together, right? So we have to really understand polarization in a new way, Taurus, which will help you and realize the ways in which you're fixed that can hold you back sometimes. All right, Taurus. Gemini. So Gemini, we are doing this new moon for you in the 7th house of relationships. So this is a really important relationship moon for you, Gemini. This is a really important moon about your business and the relationships and partnerships that help your business grow, function properly. So maybe it's like VAs and assistants or employees or the people that you partner with or your guesting spots, all of that. It's really important that you are really around people. And this is a chance to create your reality, create and really vision and journal about who do you want to be around? What vibes do you not want to be around anymore? What vibes do you want to be around? What vibes, what is the ecosphere of your business that you want to create? And so what kind of people, what kind of energy, what kind of conversations are happening? What kind of relationship do you have to your desires and wanting and longing? Is there a negative relationship to that? What kind of relationship do you have to your goals and to your perspective of life? Do you have a lot of handbooks for how life should go? And when it's not going that way, then we don't feel good and we're fighting everything. Really look at your relationships to life and to your business and to things in your business, because that will help you understand if you have this clean and clear relationship to the business itself and the pieces, components in it, so it can be a really healthy, thriving business, and the parts and components of it are really healthy and clean and clear. Mars being retrograde in your sign, it's not the most clear time for you right now, and it's distractibility city. And luckily Mars is like retrograde, so it's slowed down. But Mars being in Gemini is very highly many interest and quick, fast, and will move to the next thing very quickly. It can get restless and bored. So understand that energy, and that's okay. And realize that you have a lot of power to take, that you can disrupt things when it comes to groups, when it comes to your audience, when it comes to speaking your voice with friends, groups, collaborations, summits, your audience, and so forth, that it's okay to disrupt, because that will seat you in the center of your power and anchor you more and help other women to know they can speak out and help other women rise. It will be a ripple of a positive effect. Obviously, tact is always great. The Saturn container, Saturn's exalted in Libra's tact. So it's this it's also this understanding that there might be a lot of anger to release around money issues that you've had and went through. There might be a lot of anger around self-love, the lack of it, the lack of feeling worthy in your life, or other people maybe abusing you or making you feel like you weren't worthy throughout your life. There might be things coming up, bubbling up, but there's going to be a lot of creative solutions and flow and healing for you there. So it's time to regain your power by going through any anger that needs to be gone through, going through any emotions. And this is really powerful. You have a lot of alchemy that you can create in your 8th house of like your sexual energy, orgasm, creation, sacral chakra energy, that primordial beautiful creation, but from something that comes from heart, from humility, from compassion. And you really can turn difficulties in your deep, intimate relationships, difficulties in dealing with money and other people, difficulties with like awakening and connecting to hidden things and the spiritual world. You can turn those things into fuel, into your phoenix that rises, into beauty, help, healing, and things for you to have for yourself. Let's see, what else do I want to say about this? All right, Gemini, I'm going to pull you a feather card. You got the Kingfisher. Prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in perfect form. So this little, it's like a little squat short bird. It's so cute, adorable, and this feather. So believing, and I was talking about money and talking about how there's a lot of alchemy that you can create with money, and selling your programs and services, and maybe old past subconscious issues with money. So really have faith that you will that you are receiving, like be in the having mentality, be in the knowing that you're making money, you're someone who makes money. Normalize money to yourself. There's a lot of free master classes around money in my Facebook group that are for free. So if you come over to join for the Feminine Alchemy ongoing series, then you will be able to get those Divine Feminine money classes for free. So, all right, we're going to do Cancer. I'm going to pull you some more cards, Geminis. Sorry, let me see. All right. These came forward. Fearless expression. So fearless expression, Gemini, that what is the confidence? What is the hindrance? What is the maybe nervousness coming up? Because it's in the self-care protection message. So saying that there is a need to go in and release insecurity if it comes up, to be willing to feel and see the vulnerability and don't push it down, because it'll make you shrink in micro ways that you don't realize, that are keeping your overall visibility shrunken, because all these micro ways you're shrinking. So you just don't make that phone call, or don't do that email, or don't ask for that guest appearance, or don't speak up next to somebody when you had that impetus to do it, and spirit called you to do it, and you knew, your higher self was like, go talk to them, and you didn't. So realize that you have to face the insecurities as they come up and the vulnerabilities, and that's okay. And then you move through it, and you're not living under that. Changes also in a self-care message. So yes, Gemini, nothing but changes for you. Mutable energy all around. So realize, do you have some false belief that changes are negative, or they never work out for the better? Excuse me, or that changes are bad? Because if you do, then you're going to be fearing and resisting any change. So really look at that deep subconscious programming. We do that everywhere in my containers. Let me move this over here and do this. And do that right there. And this, something over here. Cancer. All right, Cancer, this new moon is happening for you in your house of self-mastery and being able to go and serve the people, and your house of like, you've really come through the journey of knowing the contributions that you make to the world, feeling like you matter and they matter, and being able to now go out and share them with the world. And so there's this energy of self-mastery. So if you're not feeling that, this is the time to create it with the Sagittarius moon. This is the time to adventure off into those areas of your life, knowing that you are masterful. You can gain expertise that we are simultaneously learning and mastering. We're simultaneously perfecting, and always have things we don't know, and that's okay. And realize that this new moon is about really taking that dream off the horizon and really creating the lifestyle you want right now. So this is really true for you, particularly, that this lifestyle, the dream that you want to live, take it off the horizon. What threads can you begin right now, and what's in the way, and deal with the things that are in the way, bullet point by bullet point by bullet point, and tackle them, and realize that this is malleable, that you can quantum leap. This is quantum leaps. This is upgrades. We are upgrading. There's so much photonic light flooding into planets. We're having M-class flares all the time. Our DNA is upgrading all the time. We are shifting as humanity. We are rising. We are claiming and taking up space as woman. So realize that this is a time of quantum leaps. This is a time of just having things spontaneously heal. This is not a linear progression of things. We are always healing things, and we don't even know how this healed what and how it's connected to that. And you're like, I like can't even put it together linearly in my mind. My mind's like wanting to do that, and then realizing the great relief of like, it's just not necessary, because you channel what's needed in the moment that it's needed. You don't need to have the linear timeline of anything. And especially as a woman, You don't need to be cunning and strategize because everything you need is just right there in the moment. So you don't have to do all that like work and heavy lifting. Like, oh my gosh, that's exhausting. So this definitely is about your leadership and expertise and standing up as that leader, like standing in your power and your expertise, like believing in that and knowing that you have that, knowing that you bring that, that's important, it matters. And so also dealing with any superiority issues, which is always about, indicative of the inferiority there. So we don't want to be like superior and standing in our expertise and our confidence and leadership from a standpoint of superiority. Doesn't help. It completely attracts the wrong people, and it's not from the heart and compassion, and it's not your evolution, right? So it's indicative of issues there that you want to bust through and really come from confidence, from an authentic, pure who you are-ness. That's amazing. You can really weave things from the metaphysical right now into this reality so beautifully. You can do alchemy when it comes to relationships with people and take difficult situations and just completely turn them on their head into beautiful scenarios and jokes, and get people connecting and get people that were disgruntled into happy moods. You just have so much alchemy there for you right now. So like we talk about alchemy and feminine alchemy, my ongoing masterclass retreat that we're doing every Friday in Temple of the Wild Feminine, my Facebook group. And so you are able to just shift everything into something that works for you and others and serves. There is this energy right now of really needing to be willing to bust down the status quo or be discordant when it comes to your business, whether that's working with like people or how people see you, taking up space in the world. It's okay to bust down status quo. It's okay that people get triggered. That's their stuff. Let people be in their stuff and you be in your stuff. You have enough to deal with in your own psyche, soul. Don't be up in other people's psyche, soul, and saying, I would just feel better if you'd stop being mad at me or triggered or all of this. Let them be triggered. Let it be hard. You will never drive away the right people. Know that there's a lot of creative flow for healing there. There's a lot of creative and solutions coming in. Just talk to your guides. Just ask for that help. Reach out to the multiverse. And really a need to release anger when it comes to your wounded ego and wounded things in your ego, not being seen or heard, not being loved, not being like cared about, or being misunderstood, or not really like ever creating a real identity of who you are in the world. Not really maybe knowing who you were, or following the crowd, or doing what everybody else was doing, like, wearing the same things everybody else was wearing, and never really finding out who you were. So there might be a lot of anger to release there to retrieve your power and really discover what your personality and identity really consists of, and play around with self-modification and fun. All right, Cancer, I'm going to pull you a card. This card wants to come forward. The Crow, the priestess of alchemy and creation and magic. Universal laws and truths are now being revealed to you, Cancer. Use this energy to create your reality. Create your reality, Cancer. So yay. Let's pull you some more cards, Cancer. This card wants to come forward, a big heart on it. Bliss is worth creating from. So if you've been creating from hustle and grind energy and that toxic Mars masculine, malignant masculine energy, and that linear model and all of that, it just will wear you the fuck out as a feminine and as a woman. We don't create from there. It's just not natural. It's exhausting. Trust your bliss that it will carry you exactly to where you want to be. Your big giant dreams, the money, the soulmate relationships, the big impact in ways you want to change this world. Know that your bliss will take you exactly to the right place, Cancer. This card wants to come out for you. Welcome to divine masculine. So that conscious Saturn, the banks that hold the feminine river in, the space holding, the overseeing and protection, the ability to respond as needed, but not poised for danger or like going out and destroying, but just capable of doing whatever's needed in the moment if it's needed, like welcoming that divine masculine energy that is just so self-possessed, has so much warmth and light and love, and how much that love is this container that allows for the bloom of the feminine. It's so insanely powerful. All right, Cancer. Leo. All right, Leo. So this Sag energy is in the 5th house. It's Leo's house. It's the associated house with Leo. Houses and signs are really different, but it's the associated house, right? So this energy of leadership, creative self-expression, of this childlike play and fun and being in the heart, and realizing that the vulnerability, like this self-possessed confidence to allow for yourself to be in the heart, and there to be any vulnerability that comes with that it's not confused for weakness. That Sag moon is all about you really like creating this new paradigm going forward this next 10 years to that future self in 2032 as that you matter, that your work matters in the world, believing that you matter, believing your work matters in the world, and contributing those gifts to the world. Like, look what I made. And really only being in that symbiotic relationship with the people that see it and value it. The other people, let them go. You don't need to be in your ego, the wounded ego or the wounded pride. People that can't see your value, they can just go. The Leo is about like, look what I made, and sharing your gifts and like being in the spotlight, but with that symbiotic relationship of people loving it. Like the humor only works if somebody's laughing, right? So it's that all together. So there's this new birthing of your leadership, of your role of being, coming from your heart, that amazing Leo love and light, but coming from the heart, coming from healthy pride and what you create in this world, understanding that it matters, it makes a difference, and it's so important. And this is about the connection to the metaphysical and your guides and your channel and your higher self, and channeling your creation through to be this leader, to stand in your power, to stand with confidence on stage, to be front and center, to be a speaker, an author, a writer, or a leader in whatever way you are in your business, to be out in front, to be one of the people that's helping humanity heal and awaken and to radiate their light themselves. This is what this is about for you. This new moon is all about the possibilities and creation. Like, what do you want to create? What's that 2032 you, future self you, looking back to this rippling out that you're going to do to her, and her rippling back to you? What does she have to tell you? What's the messages? You can do some journaling work there. It's a really fun exercise to like talk to her now and let her tell you the secrets of where you get to and what you get to. There's this energy of alchemy with your lifestyle and your life force energy, which includes your health. So you can really take things that are challenging and make them work for you. You can really turn things around. You can really take your dreams and the limitations to those and make it something that works for you somehow. Come into my container, Feminine Alchemy, in my Facebook group. We're going to have class every Friday, and we're going to be doing some massive alchemy in there. So it'll be really beautiful. I'll be teaching that. And what else? I really want to get rid of the image in my speaking. I'm gonna work on that. So now I have like a metric I have to pay attention to. I have so many metrics. I'm doing high level acrobatics, and there's like so many metrics, and it's like I have to keep the base from twisting my hands the wrong way. Just give me a second, because there's something I'm going to tell you, Leo. Where is it? Okay, here we go. All right, Leo. So don't be afraid to be a disruptor when it comes to standing in the truth of your expertise and power, and letting people be triggered, letting people be upset, letting people deal with their own stuff. It's not for you to deal with. It's fine to come with come with a compassion and really have a compassionate heart, but people need to deal with their shadow and their stuff. That's the only way they become autonomous and sovereign and really healthy humans. We must go through the dark night of the soul to actually build and establish humility and compassion and empathy, somatic empathy and caring and understanding. Also realize that there might be a lot of anger from past life patterns and karma that is needing to be sacred rage practice, to be expressed, to be expelled, so that you can reconnect and retrieve your power, to stand in your power as a visionary, to stand in the power of reclaiming your imagination, not letting it be used for negative by the psyche that is in old patterns and loops, but reclaiming it from those old subconscious past life patterns and karmic patterns, and saying, no, my imagination is going to be used for what I want to create, what I want to see that is amazing, the love, the soulmate relationships, the money, the impact I plan to have in the world. So really reclaim your imagination for the good, from those like karmic patterns, from the escapism desires that might be in there. There just might be a lot of anger and emotions you have to go to get to that other side, but there's empowerment there if you do that work. And there's a lot of solutions. If you just ask for help with that, it'll be rained down upon you. Know that. So really good stuff. Let me pull a feather card for you. So this card wanted to come out right away. It's the dog. I love dogs so much. They're so adorable. I just want to put them in my pocket and like carry them around with me. Find comfort and balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. So ducks, like simple, they're in every city. They're just such a common bird. They really provide a lot of comfort. Like when you see a duck, it's like, oh, everything's chill here. This is a good area. Like they're relaxed. You feel relaxed. It really is a relaxed energy, a comfortable energy, that like Libra, where you feel solid and grounded in yourself. So everything's good, right? It's not about equal balance. It's about actually just feeling solid, which is balance, right? And like you have support all around you. So tapping into that, realizing that it's such a wealth, support from people and our guides and the multiverse and our higher self and soul and all of the energies available to us. It's such a wealth from our own. This is in a self-care message, but it's like nourish the sacred feminine, and it's in a self-care message. So there's this sacred feminine energy within you, Leo, that is not being fully resourced. So what do you need? Do you need to play? Do you need intellectual stimulation in positive ways? Do you need connection? Do you need pleasure? Do you need joy and laughter? What's not getting fed right now? Where are you not fully resourced? And that feminine needs stillness and quiet too. And maybe there's this stillness needed, but you're restless with all of this mutable energy, this restless energy, this Uranus. And so maybe you need to do movement stillness, like movement meditation types of stillness methods instead of just straight stillness. Definitely the case for me right now. Accept and receive, also in a protection message. So it's like, can you receive the divine feminine love and compassion and empathy that is there for you, that wants to nourish you and nurture you and show you why you matter, and have that symbiotic relationship there? Can you accept the good? Can you accept the love? Can you accept the benevolence and allow that to come in? It's so positive. All right, Leo, amazing energy. Moving on to Virgo now. Virgo, this new moon is all about creating new home. So it's home within yourself. It's also rewriting the old story of the past home, family dynamics, not feeling loved or not having things go the way you wanted to, like rewriting the story for your empowerment, rewriting the story, not in a way that allows you to retrieve the wisdom from hardship or challenge, pain, or loss, that allows you to use that experience, that you alchemize it into your power. that really allows you to use that for the impact that you know, as a Virgo, that self-mastery, and that you go out there, and that self-mastery and that impact that you have in the world, right? That's what Virgo's about. Realize, Virgo, that it's about perfecting, not perfection. So really differentiate the two. It's really important for you. And this is about relationships for you. So it's about this new cycle, new beginning. Think about that 2032 self that's rippling back to now, and you're rippling that energy forward. Think about the vibe that you want to create this 10 years, and the you then, and let her speak back to you now, and maybe even do that exercise and let her speak to you and tell you messages and important information, and tell you all the amazing things about yourself. Virgo, you can really be so hard on yourself and so judgmental and self-critical. If you have a Virgo South node, same thing, so be aware of that, kind of some anxious energy. And this is really about relationships. So it's like establishing new stories, new paradigms, new beginnings, new healthy, amazing relationships, soulmate relationships, nourishing, reciprocal, loving, passionate, enthusiastic, inspiring. What do you want in relationships? Like, really get clear on what you want in relationships. Do you want just, you know, orgasmic conversations that are just ecstasy and bliss and fantastic bam, 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 bam ideas, and just understanding each other, and just like, oh my God, this and this, and it sparks your creativity, and then you like leave that and you're like creating all this stuff from the conversation. It's just so magical, and like you can't even take it. And then other relationships that are just like nourishing, and you know, cuddle puddles and hugs, and just so like appropriate and loving and nourishing, and just so, you know, what do you want to create? Because that's what this mutable, new possibilities, new adventure is all about. It's about relationship, family, your version of home, the new home inside yourself. This has been coming for a long time. You've been doing so much work up to get to this point. So this really makes sense that you're here right now. It really makes sense that you are really at this place of creating a new home, this new cycle of what family and home means to you, what your definition of it is, what your experience of it is, and that you create it in your vision and way, not based on constructs given to you by family, gestational family, or soul family, or the culture, or the media, but you're creating what that is. Know that you have solutions and help to be the disruptor when it comes to sexual energy, being provocative, owning and claiming your orgasm, claiming new things you want to do and try, speaking your voice. Maybe you've never really spoken up in sex and really claimed what you want, what you're okay with, what you're not. That you need to be pleasured first, that, you know, whatever it is, but also know that that's connected to your sacral primordial energy of creation in the feminine as a woman, and to your channel, to your guides, to the galactics, to the other, what animates our reality. So that connection, that intimacy and bond to yourself, that's what orgasmic is, you know, and sex is sacred, that it's the connection, the interconnectedness between all of things, all of life. It's that understanding of all of that. So there's really time to be provocative, time to be a disruptor, time to speak what you really want in all ways, and realize that you are going to have a lot of solutions come in when it comes to like friends, collaborations, your audience, any hurts or issues there. You have a lot of solutions. Ask for the help. Reach out to your guides, reach out to the multiverse, and ask for the help of the divines to come in to help you to release any anger and rage. Do sacred rage practice around releasing anything that's any of the hurts in those areas, so that you can really move through into your highest empowerment. You have a lot of alchemy ability in your ability to be a leader right now. So when you feel hindered, vulnerable, insecure, whatever, with your creative expression or with your leadership, or really being in your heart and staying in your heart, you can take that and turn it around right now and alchemize it. So get creative, understand that you really are supported in that really heavily, and ideas will just flow in. Just ask, connect, get still for a moment. You can really weave magic into your lifestyle right now. Like, really think about leaving it in your imagination, and so then creating it in your reality, and then go do one thing in tangible reality that you created in your mind, like using that imagination for good, for the actual tangible thing. All right, Virgo, let's pull you a feather card. This card wanted to come through. Blackbird. The magical and unique qualities of your untapped potential are unfolding now. So untapped potential, something maybe you're not in touch with yet or right now, something, the unfolding is happening. And so allowing, remember that Virgo wants to strategize and plan and be cunning and scheming. You don't need to do that. Let it unfold. Know that there's the conscious Virgo and the distorted Virgo. Really look at being in that conscious Virgo of like self-mastery is allowance. It's discernment that knows when to get into the details and when to leave it alone. You don't clean the fridge every single day and just micromanage the fridge, but it's like, okay, man, there's some dust, there's some hair here, some like debris from onions, like let me fucking clean out the fridge now, right? You just know when to do it. You don't have to scheme and plan. But with with your, what's the word, editorial calendar, you might plan that out. And Virgo, you love to do that. It feels good to you. So know when you can do it, and do it in a way that's conscious and nourishing, and know when it's not needed. All right, let's pull some cards. This flew out. Manifesting and doing. This is about allowing the doing to be inspired doing, realizing that manifesting is what we've been talking about in this whole, new moon, all this mutable energy, all this possibility land, and this wild energy of manifesting, unfolding, allowing, receiving, believing, understanding that what's in your subconscious creates your reality. Your emotions is what you're going to experience. So where's your baseline frequency? You don't have to like be butt constricted doing and that linear. You have to let go of that. Let's see. I want some more clarity on like, what is the problem, Virgo? Creator Alchemy. Yeah. Like, are you alchemizing the struggle instead of like getting to the block and being like, I have to strategize through it and think about it, analyze it? Just alchemize it. Take the hindrance and turn it into your power. Turn it into a benefit. Go through the emotion or the difficulty to get to the other side of the transformation. Fierce serenity. This card came up heavy for you. It flew out. It's like fierce serenity is what's called for you, Virgo. That's how you're going to alchemize and get through all of this. You've got this. You can do this. All right, Virgo. Libra. Thank you for, I'm just going to write down times because it's easier than to go back to the video. All right, Libra. So this new moon for you, it's all about mindset. And it's about having a new mindset that's related to the lifestyle and your life force energy, which means that you're tapped into your creative potential, magic, and gifts. You really understand the amazing who you are. You're really letting that unfold more and more and more, and waking up to that more and more and more. Really understand getting that dream off the horizon, pulling it into the now, letting it be okay if you don't know things. That's okay. You don't need to know it all. Like that unfolding, that's that feminine, right? And just do with what you do know, and work with the excitement and inspiration of that. Be in this creation, be in this possibilities. Your mind, this is about creating a new mindset that's based on believing in the dream and the magic that comes from tapping into that life force energy, that your inner energy and your feminine and your body will lead you to exactly where you need to go, lead you right when you need to rest. That'll give you all the inspiration and the energy to make it happen. And so really letting that mindset loosen up and thinking about her in 2032, what mindset does she have? What vibe is she inhabiting? What does she believe about herself? Who is she? Let that ripple back and inform you right now of what you're creating in this new moon, all those beautiful possibilities, adventure. This is the dream quest, right? It's so beautiful. You have so much alchemy that you can create when it comes to home and family stuff right now. So if there's hindrances, really turn it into how it's going to benefit for you. Really see it from a different angle. Really start doing amazing alchemy. If you want to learn how, come into my ongoing retreat that is going to be happening called Feminine Alchemy, and starts next Friday. And so come into and join the Facebook group. You can join that. You have so much power to imagine your leadership being in your heart, and then for having that just like being able to just create it in reality in such a tangible way. You have so many solutions coming in to be able to be okay with being more of a disruptor, triggering people, letting people be in their own stuff when it comes to relationships. You've been working on this for a long time. You have so many solutions and so much help and so much creativity to deal with maybe any of the discomfort within yourself or the challenge with that, with people being triggered around you, or people being codependent, or people, whatever it is, wanting from you something different, that you're now that you're like really different, changing and growing and really honoring and owning your value and who you are. There might be to really step into your like massive amount of empowerment and ownership of your business and your soulpreneurship. You might have to go through some sacred rage practice or anger release around where you may have been stifled, or how the journey went up to now, or what maybe time lost, or anything that's in your perceptions or your mind that's coming up. It's okay. Don't stuff it down. It's coming up to be released and let go of, and that's good, and that's okay. Okay. Let's see, is there something else important I wanted to mention? All right, let's pull you a card, Libra. This is big for you, Libra. So it's such a great card. Osprey, your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. There's these ospreys that always sit up on the light posts down by Ocean Beach in San Diego, and they're so gorgeous. Your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. So it's believing it, it's allowing it. It's really that unfolding that we just talked about. Let me pull your other cards, Libra. Definitely realize that our subconscious beliefs and emotions are the scaffolding upon which is the reality we live. Limitations inspire innovations. Yes, it's the alchemy. It's like, that's one of the ways we alchemize, right? Is that when we have limitations, then we get in touch with our resourcefulness. We start to MacGyver that shit. We start to realize that we can rally, we can figure, we can just channel and understand things that we didn't even know we knew how to do, but we wouldn't have been provoked to even figure that out or touch that part of our genius if we hadn't had the limitation. You have the card one step ahead is all you need. So just if you're really looking towards the future, realize that you don't need to be so dramatically in the future, that you just need to be that one step ahead and you'll be fine. And so whether that means one step ahead of the people you're teaching, or if that means that one plan, one idea or understanding of what your next action is to take, or what your kind of vision is, if you're feeling a little confused about your vision, or it's not quite 100% clear, knowing that you just need that one step, and you know where the next stepping stone is to step on, and then the next one will rise up out of the water to allow you to step there once you step. So you just need to know what's right in front of you. It's okay. All right, Libra, you got this. Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. So Scorpio, this new moon energy is all about love and money and abundance, and really tapping your genius and understanding the resourcefulness that you are, that everything that was created out in the world was first created inside. So a chair, there were no chairs. Somebody had to actually be like, I'm kind of good with sitting on the floor. There's got to be like, what if I just put these sticks together in this plank and like, bam, like, oh man, that's so great to not be on my knees and like oh man, like the first stool, the first chair that was ever made was an idea in somebody's head. That is the magic. That is actually how we create everything. Nothing's trucked in from other planets. We create everything in this planet here. There's not a finite amount of resources or money or any of this. There's not shortage. That's all bullshit. Don't buy in. So really realize, Scorpio, your power to create money, to create financial abundance, be in that prosperity consciousness. This is creating your new mindset, your new beliefs, your new expansion into prosperity consciousness, getting rid of that shortage consciousness, really belief in yourself, understanding that you can respond in the moment as it's needed, that you will have the resources inside of you to handle whatever this challenge or the crisis is, or the conflict, that you got this, and realizing that this is a lot about your leadership ability to stand on stage and be the woman that's visible in the world, that is growing your visibility, growing your business, growing your revenue. This is about bringing your creative works to life, bringing what is inside of you, your resources and gifts of what you can create and make, and products and services and your ideas and your imaginations, bringing them to life and contributing them to humanity, and being like, look what I made, and this is amazing, and anybody that doesn't like it can go, and really having that symbiosis between the people who love it, realizing that you will not drive the right people away, and the people that want to like say something negative, just let them go, block them, tell them to leave. You don't have to even entertain it. You don't have to engage it. You don't have to do the psychodramas and the conflict and the crises about it all. You don't have to get into it. It's like, nope, you can go. You can leave now. There's the door. Off you go. I love, that's one of my favorite lines. Off you go. So realize you have so much alchemy. Really look at your 2032 self and let that ripple and inform what you're creating right now. You're creating this new paradigm of life, this new cycle. This is a new you, a new certainty and belief in self-love and self-value, self-worth. This is a massive upgrade in your self-worth. This is an upgrade that's like a 10-year trajectory upgrade. This isn't just like one moon out of the year and I'll get another one next year. No, this is the moon to upgrade your self-worth, Scorpio. There isn't another one like this coming. There isn't another one at 1 degree. So, and we just had that lunar eclipse in Taurus. So realize that this is the moon to upgrade your self-worth. This is the moon to invoke prosperity consciousness, Scorpio. And realize that this has a lot to do with being a leader, being in your heart, being willing to be vulnerable, having healthy pride, getting out of the wounded ego, getting out of the damaged ego, getting out of the damaged pride. And you have a lot of solutions and help right now to be provocative and be a disruptor when it comes to your daily routines and lifestyles and home life and your day-to-day like work and so forth. Let yourself be provocative. Let yourself be the disruptor. Let yourself speak to power. Speak your voice. Speak your authenticity. It's really important, and you have a lot of support. And to really stand as this visionary leader and go on the adventure of your lifetime, and being on the leading edge of humanity awakening here and helping humanity heal and rise. You might have some anger to own that empowerment and that leadership. You might have some anger to really release around what didn't work before, or when you tried things and it wasn't received well, or when you got scared, or just the survival difficulties with being the Scorpio, that you just have so much like survival, like wanting to be comfortable and in the hidey hole and not like really show that belly, right? That vulnerable belly. But realizing vulnerable is not weak. Vulnerable does not mean that there's a survival issue. So it's really like dealing with any of the anger, rage, or hurts or emotions around survival stuff. So, all right, this is big for you, Scorpio, really big. This came up super clear. So it's the white eagle. The connection to divine guidance is within you. The connection to divine guidance, you got this, Scorpio. That energy connection to the behind the veil, to the occult, to the metaphysical, to the mystical. That is that Scorpio energy, the magician. You know, Pisces is called the magician, but the Scorpio is the magician. If you get out of that fucking survival panic fear bullshit, you know, right? Which means having to move through fixed water, stuck emotions, stuck subconscious shit, stuck past life shit, and move through it. And be bold and courageous. Be the edgy badass that you actually never reveal and never show out in the world, actually, ever. A lot of people say, like, oh, Scorpios are the ones with tattoos. Like, no, they're not. No, they're the ones that don't talk. They're the ones that hide and they're sitting at home and they're eating and watching TV. No, they're not. So maybe other planets or South Node or something, but or moon or something. What does your soul say? What does your soul say? Really get out of your head, Scorpio. Get into your soul, your higher self heart, get into that channel and really listen and be willing to be courageous to do it. You are epic, but it's in the needing to be fully resourced position. So you are epic, but you can't step into like really honoring how remarkable and epic and amazing you are unless you really are fully resourced as a woman. So pleasure, connection, stillness, intellectual, stimulation, novelty. What is it that you're not getting that you need? Maybe it's extra rest and sleep. This is a time where we just can't do everything that we want to do right now. So, all right, Scorpio, big, massive things for you. Sagittarius. All right, Sag. This moon for you being a Sag. So obviously it's all about who you are, your personality, the vehicle of your soul. The emotions are the bridge between your soul and your personality. So what are the emotions in your personality that you want to embody, that you want to carry forward for the next 10 years? What's the new who you are-ness? What's the new baseline of emotions, which is your experience of life? It's the energy you come with. Do you want to have a baseline of like compassion, joking, optimism, love, like adventure, fun? You get to choose. Inspiration, enthusiasm. Do you want to be a provocateur? Like, what do you want to come with? You get to choose that baseline of emotional energy. The personality is also all of our thinking and thoughts and everything. Like, what do you want to be inhabiting your mind? The mind likes to chatter. Well, what do you want it to be in there? Because this new moon is about like, clearing out the junk, like letting things go and like shifting to the new way you want to think about yourself, life, who you are. This is about how other people interact with you. This is about like when you protect yourself. How do you want to protect yourself from now on? Do you want to be offended, disappointed, mopey, people chasing after you in dysfunctional kind of maladaptations, or do you want to not be threatened by things and realize something came up, an insecurity or something came up, and you can handle it, you can move through it, like you have that skill and ability? So this is about the uniqueness of you, self-modification, the personality, the literally how you look, your hair color, your style, your vibe. You could be someone who changes it up regularly, and your mutable energy, you're really at home in this energy. You could be someone that really kind of wants to do something crazy and completely new you. Really think about that future you in 2032, rippling back to now. Like, how are they informing you? What's the energy? What are they doing? What are their beliefs? What are their accomplishments? What messages do they have for you to help you really understand what you're creating right now? This new paradigm you're shifting, this is a paradigm shift. This is the new adventure, Sag. This is you like ending the who you were before, and this is the new you. Like, there is no more of the old you, or you have that opportunity at least to do that if you want it. This is the opportunity to be a completely new Sag and start the new paradigm of the who you are-ness, your personality, your character, your how people see you, your ego, healthy ego, right? Your identity, like all of that. And it's really informed by your sense of home, which should come from your heart. So it's really informed by, looking at the family that you grew up in, or the paradigms of them, the ideas and the the standards, the programs, all of that, looking at all of that you came from, and saying that I'm going to do a new paradigm of family, a new understanding, a new definition, and that's what my identity is going to be based on, is this new definition of family and home that's coming from soul, that's coming from something I'm creating and choosing consciously, that's going to be like what I want it to be, instead of what somebody gave me, instead of the idea of family, the idea of home, the idea of your emotional inner world being based on what somebody said was okay and not okay, or somebody said how it should be or shouldn't be, or based on society. And it's based on what you want to see as the magic and possibilities and adventure of who the hell you're going to be in 10 years from now, who the hell you're going to be over the next 20 years. Like, what adventure are you trying to live? And let that inform what you're creating right now. There's so much alchemy for you and your mindset. So whenever you're hindered in your mindset, you can just shift that shit, really do alchemy on that, really shift it. I'm teaching that in Feminine Alchemy, my ongoing retreat every Friday in my Facebook group. You can join us, the Wild Feminine, Temple of the Wild Feminine Facebook group. What do I want to talk about? Yes. So there's so much solutions and power for you to be provocative as a leader, to be speaking to power, to be busting down the status quo, to be talking about what isn't working and hasn't worked, to be raucous and outrageous. You have a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of ability to stand in that beauty and humor and happiness and joy and mirth and that fire and creation, and like really having that connection and symbiosis with people to really reclaim your power, your sexual power, your orgasmic power, your creation, sacred, primordial, your connection to all of life and the interconnectedness of your higher self, and connection to your guides and your the other where you come from, the galactic energy and the multiverse. All of that really might need some subconscious shit that needs healed, some anger release, to stand in your power, that you have gifts, that you know them, they belong to you, that you're strong and certain, you have certitude there, and to really stand in your power of creation and connection to all of life and your feminine energy. There might be some anger release and some rage that needs to be released. And it's so important to move through that and do that, because you will get that transformation of retrieving your power in this massive way that's not available any other time. Like, this is the time to do it. This is the time to really think about the new identity. There isn't another moon like this. There isn't another time. This is the time. This is the time to do your identity. This is the time to understand yourself deeply and who you want to be and what you want to create. This is, stop approving of yourself based on your family's ideas of what was worth approval, and really find the gifts of who you are. That's why I really encourage you to come into the Feminine Alchemy class, because you'll find who you are through your chart and your astrology, and start to really like claim and own the amazingness of who you are and get to know it, because we don't really know the depths of who we are. We really don't. This society does not foster that at all. We know ourselves within the confines of the programs, or what's approved of, or what was acceptable. We do not often value the most amazing gifts and talents and things about us. So I really encourage you to come into that container. Let's pull a feather card for you, Sag. The Wren. I love little wrens. Be bold and confident. Use all of your resources to create your dreams. So use all of your resources. Really, really think about what you consider to be a resource, and do you have that definition, wide enough scope of what a resource is. People are resources. Everything you've ever done in your life, books you've read, workshops, things you've done are all resources. Things you learn, things you hear, things the sky, the sunny day, the mood you're in one day, your high frequency, all resources. So really expand your view of resources and use them to, man, where'd that card go? Put it back in. You are magic, Sag. So it was in a self-care message, meaning that really need to be fully resourced, really tap in and remember that you're magical. Like, have you been forgetting? Have you been in that pouty, mopey place? Have you been going through some challenges and just forgetting the love and not tapping in and not working on your frequency and not doing the self-care work? Have you just been pushing and grinding? Did you get into a linear spell? Are you living under a program? Like, what is it that's going on? Let's get some clarity. What's going on for Sag? Okay. So overthinking can spoil the magic and protection. So if there's some overthinking going on, Sag, can spoil the magic. Like, let it unfold. Let it arise within you. Let it be that ethereal fire, all the candles burning, rather than trying to think of the thing and think it into being. So it just says there's a lot of excess mind energy. So it looks like the self-care message is really about remembering that you're magic. So you got to tap into that self-intimacy, which requires stillness, which might mean you need to do a moving meditation if you can't do a sit still meditation. And tap in, like, get quiet, even if it's like driving, and get quiet with the amazingness within you. To do that, we often have to feel a lot of yucky emotions that come up in the quiet. If we're never getting quiet, then we're not actually moving through some of the difficult things that want to move through us. They're supposed to be transitory. They're supposed to move through, but if we never get quiet, then we never let them move through. So then it kind of creates this backup that is no bueno. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, for you, this new moon is in your house of karma, but in your house of being the visionary and the dream, and like really making that scaffolding for which we build tangible reality upon, for which you experience your reality and what comes into your reality and what gets kicked out, because you've said what is here through your imagination. Are you imagining only the dastardly things? Did you get your imagination set on the gear of the negative and the bad and everything that could go wrong, and trying to be preventative as if that's smart, instead of putting your imagination back in the gear of creating what you want to be in the next 10 years in this new paradigm that you're shifting? So this is really you connecting to soul, Capricorn. This is not going to happen anytime else. This is not a new moon like no other. You got to think about that you in 2032 and decide that she talks and informs you, the you are now, and gives you all of the understanding of her accomplishments, her energy, her vibe, frequency, everything she did and accomplished over the last 10 years, and the impact and the money, the relationships, everything that you're wanting, and lets you understand, identify how you reconnected to yourself as an artist, and not just playing it safe, being conscious and so concerned about what society thinks or other people think or how you're going to be viewed, and worrying about tact and propriety so much, and instead being the creative, the artist, coming with giving yourself compassion and stop judging yourself and others so much and being disrespected so much, and just instead really coming with the artistry. This is your chance to connect to that divine channel of artistry that wants to flow through you to create out into the world, and really about your mindset, creating this new paradigm and this mindset that's going to launch you forward into this new way of being in the world, that the next new moons, every new moon hereafter, you're going to have a chance to come from this new mindset that comes from soul, that comes from spirit, that comes from your higher self channeled within, the artist, the divine love coming through. You have so much alchemy that you can create when it comes to who you are, your personality, your self-modification, like who you see yourself as and how you protect yourself. Like, you can take the challenges, the fears, and turn it around to benefit you. You can really learn that in my Feminine Alchemy retreat that is going to be weekly, in my Facebook group, Temple of the Wild Feminine, which you can join. and all the information will be there for you. There's so much solution coming in so that you can own your power in your relationships, so that you can really understand that you can be provocative when it comes to family, when it comes to people's ideas of home, when it comes to people's comfort zones and safety. You can bust the status quo. You can be provocative. You can speak to power. You can be real and authentic and be your real self, and not try to be so coloring in between the lines. And that's actually a really important part of how you rise into your empowerment. And you have a lot of support. Ask for help, ask for the right things to say, the way to do it, what you need to know. And you're getting help to move through any anger about old relationship patterns, old relationships, to how you saw yourself, to the way you saw business or your business, the way you saw the world. You're getting a lot of help to heal all the anger and release anger and do sacred rage practice to retrieve your power when it comes to relationships, but not only just with people, but with your relationship to your business, your relationship to the world, relationship to your soul, to your guides, to your higher self, and all of existence and life. So really important moon here. Pull you a feather card. The starling came through for you, Capricorn. Now is the time to get out into the world and connect in authentic ways. So that authenticity is what I was talking about, that it's okay to be your authentic self, even if it feels provocative, even if it feels like you're busting down the status quo. The status quo needs busted down right now. That is what is happening over the next 10 years. That is what this is all about. Even if it feels uncomfortable, you're being supported in doing that. So always going to that authentic place. You are light. Instead of getting disrespected, speak what is actually true on your mind and your heart. Heart, not mind, really, rather, is what I'd give you the encouragement of, Cap. All right, you are light. Remember the light that you are. Remember the light flowing through you, that literally when you're passionate, when you're inspired, you literally light up. You literally have light streaming through you. And that's that channeled energy from your higher self and that consciousness coming through. And that's what you give out to the world. So realize that you are that. Realize that love. Remember that when you get too caught up in climbing the mountain or the details or trying to get it all done. Realize the light that you are and how it informs your actions, how it informs what you need to do, how it moves everything forward of its own volition, that you don't have to think you have to do so much in a linear way. What else do you need to know, Cap? All right, this flew out. Overrate your intuition. So there's really something here about kind of getting out of the linear spell, out of the mind. Really overrate your intuition. Really honor it, love it, like overrate it, like turn the volume up on it, give it more credit than anything else. Trust it, believe in it, really trust that it's going to take you to the right place. Trust that it makes you the money. Trust that it knows the right step. Trust that it knows that if it's saying rest, that's going to actually give you more energy later. We have Mars retrograde. We can't do everything we think we can do. It's just the way it is right now. All right, Cap, you got this. Aquarius. Aquarius, so this new moon for you is all about your audience, your connections, your groups, your friends, building your audience. So in your business, this is a new moon like no other. You will not have this again. It's not happening again. It's a new beginning here, Aquarius. So this is really has everything to do with your self-worth, with your prosperity consciousness mentality instead of shortage mentality. You have to cut ties with that shortage mentality paradigm and say no more to that. And you really have to create this new adventure of how do I approach the whole world forever, henceforth, with prosperity consciousness and mindset, and cut off ties to the shortage mentality. There's not finite resources, money, or anything. Everything is infinite. You can create everything you need. We create it right here. So realize that. How do you get yourself into that prosperity consciousness and live that and create that as your paradigm that informs your connections to other people, friends, groups, and building your audience, that you're coming to build your audience from that place of prosperity consciousness, from abundance consciousness, from believing, from knowing, from just knowing and the belief that everything is flowing and unfolding and being in that overflow place where it can feel like I got to capture everything. You don't need to. You capture what's needed in the moment, and it's like being in the abundance of the wealth of the overflow. It's so amazing, so just orgasmic and blissful, and really realizing that being that self-worth, this is about a massive upgrade your self-worth, which means compassion. You have to get compassionate with yourself. You have to step in that divine love for you and amplify the fuck out of that. That is what is required in this new moon for you to come from the deepest upgrade of self-worth. This is the opportunity of a lifetime to build and explode your audience and your business, and explode your friend groups and connections and you groups, collaborations, all those types of things in your business. So really bringing your gifts to the world in this confident, self-possessed, standing in the truth of your resources and your value way. This is what this new moon is all about for you. You have massive ability to alchemize any of the karma that's coming up for you right now, any of the negative imagining. So when that comes up, you can turn it into something good for you, whether it's needing to go through the emotion all the way to the end till you get that transformation or whatever it is. So realize that you have so much help and so much support. Ask for the help from your guides. Ask for your higher self to flow through you right now to be the provocateur, which, you know, if you're an Aquarius sun, that might not be easy to you because the sun is what we're trying to be and becoming. But if you're an Aquarius rising or an Aquarius something else, that might be just a rebel thread through you that is just who you are and easy and a part of you. But you know, be the rebel when it comes to your mindset and how you think about life and how you think about perspectives and how you communicate to people. Be the one that busts the status quo and disrupts people. Let people be triggered. Let people get to their stuff, because that's how they awaken. That's how they get illuminated. And it's not about, you know, being mean to people or you know, hurtful. There's a difference about standing in your truth and your authenticity and being the rebel that you are. Realize that being the rebel a little bit, there's this out of bounds energy. So you think about it, be conscious with it, choose it on purpose. There is this energy of really needing to look at health stuff that may have happened and some anger or releasing of anger and rage or emotions around like health complications and issues, or around never living the lifestyle that you really wanted to live because of hindrances or limitations, and really going through the release of the old hurts and anger and issues around that, so you can really reclaim your power and taking that dream off the horizon and living that lifestyle now and enacting it and invoking it. Like, no, my next 10 years, I'm living the dream right now. I invoke it. This is what it is from now on. Like I'm living my dreams. I'm making the impact. I'm having what I desire and what I want, period. And that's what we're doing in my Feminine Alchemy retreat that is going to be weekly, ongoing. You can join Temple of the Wild Feminine Facebook group to come join us. Hope to see you there. Let's pull you a feather card, Aquarius. So you got the dove, which is the feminine. So it's really asking you to call that feminine energy in, feel and allow a deeper sense of peace to fill you now. Like this is a divine quality, this sense of peace. And it's this feminine energy. The dove is this like massive sign of the feminine, like connecting into that stillness, which might mean that you need to do moving meditation and connecting to nature, the water, streams, lakes, rivers, even possibly the snow, frozen ice, crunching. When I'm in winter places, I walk all winter nearly, unless it's just like below 10 or something. So you can walk when it's winter, you put the layers on, stop, drop, and ground. So yeah, there's really this call to ground out of that cerebral, heavy Aquarian, cold, sterile, just thinking higher mind energy, not bad, but to ground it into the heart, bring it down into the body temple, get in your breath, get in your heart, get present, and and ground it into the here and present. Now, what's around you? What do you see, taste, touch, feel, and be embodied in your feminine, beautiful energies of creation? Let's pull you another card so that you can manifest and create. Your past supports your future. So how do you allow this to be true? Like, is there hurts that need to be released? Is there stories that need to be re-narrated? How do we move through that? We do that in Alchemical Goddess, and we talk about that all in the Light Goddess podcast on iTunes and Spotify. So, all right, Aquarius. Pisces. All right, Pisces. So this new moon for you is so amazing in all about your business. It's all about your legacy. And this is a 1-degree new moon, starting of a new trajectory. You're not going to have this opportunity again. This is important. It's powerful. And it's all about your business, your sacred calling in this world, your soulpreneurship as a woman, what you're doing, being a voice, being a leader, helping others awaken and rise, healing people, whatever is the specific work that you do. Being the amazing visionary that you are, Pisces, the magical, mystical artist and creative, and so compassionate and kind and loving. But there can be really that dark side with Pisces suns particularly, right? So realize that this is about who you are. And so hold on a second. If you particularly are a Pisces sun rather than rising, realize that this is definitely about your identity of who you are in a different way than for risings, where there can be really that dark side, that sadness, that existential crisis stuff. So realize that this is a new chapter. This is a new cycle, that we've had all of these new cycles, that you're beginning and creating what you want life to be, and believing in that, being the magician and believing. And if there's something in the way, what is it? How do you identify it? And then how do you do something about it? And there's help there. There's help to bust out of old places if you've been held down in your self-worth. If there's anything holding down your self-worth, you have to look at that, and you have to bust through it and get it dissolved and out of your life. If there's anything fucking with your money, you have to bust through that, dissolve it, get the help you need and the support you need if you need it, but you have to move through that so it's not hindering you and limiting you. You're very much supported in moving through anger when it comes into your leadership role. Where were you stuck or stopped? And this is for risings as well. So with risings, with, this moon, it's more about who you want to be, the next chapter, self-modification, who you see yourself as being, allowing the unfolding, allowing the magic, being in the wonderment, being curious, and really giving yourself so much self-compassion for changing and growing, and really being in such a growth spurt, basically, and sons as well. And so compassion, self-love is so called for. Like, give yourself that soup of love, unconditional love, like truly loving yourself like a mother would cherish and treasure a child. So like you treasure and cherish an animal. Really a lot of support to move through and release any anger that might have been there from not getting to be where you wanted to be in life, or being stopped or stalled, or issues or hindrances or blocks, or things that went down in the past, or subconscious patterns or karmic past life stuff. So, and you will probably have to release some stuff to be able to move into your greatest empowerment and stand in your power as a leader, bringing your creative work to the world, standing in your heart, and allowing that to feel vulnerable and being okay with that, and knowing the healthy pride of being proud of what you create in this world, who you are, and how remarkable you are, and the impact that you bring. This is big, Pisces. Think about that you 2032 rippling back to now, informing you now of the vision of what you're creating now, and the energy and what you're moving forward with. You can really alchemize oh man. Huh. Okay. You can really alchemize anything that's going on with friends and people and relationships with your audience. So if there's blocks or hindrances, you can turn it into your benefit right now. So if you want to learn how to do that, come into the Temple of the Wild Feminine, my Facebook group, come into this container. It's Feminine Alchemy, and this is a retreat, and every Friday we're meeting in this. You're going to get to know yourself at mind exploding ways of beauty, to love yourself at levels you never thought possible. So, all right, let's pull you some cards, Pisces. So the eagle. All right, you are learning all aspects of spiritual connection and searching, reaching. It's cursive, man. These cards, I'm like starting to get it, but reaching new heights. So you're learning all aspects of spiritual connection and reaching new heights. The bald eagle represent. So the bald eagle is that high vision, and also the ability to climb up to spirit. But it needs that intuition too, and the details always, right? But in the appropriate way. So inflow with money, Pisces. Yeah, and it's upright. So I'm talking about, you got this, Pisces. So if you come join my Facebook group, Temple of the Wild Feminine, there's 36 hours of masterclass that I go over divine feminine abundance. So there's so much money work in there for free it's already there for you. So you can just get started on that. Gratitude again. So bring the gratitude in. You know, when I don't feel gratitude, I can't feel it. I don't activate it. And gratitude often has a thread of lack within it. So appreciation, love. Maybe you can really connect to your animal and see all the cute parts, that just the way their feet are or whatever just makes them so amazing, cute and adorable, and tap into that. Activate that emotion of love and like, oh, cute and fun and laughing, and then go to the next thing. I love this, and this was so amazing today, and the clouds looked like this, and this happened to me, and it was so great, and the chocolate milk tastes so good. And just go through the list of everything you love, but only the things that you feel genuinely about it, so that you activate that vibration in your vibration, raising your frequency. I never recommend doing rote gratitude practice, like bullet points, like this was good, this was good, this was good, when you don't actually feel it. That's not doing anything. It's not helpful. So bring in that gratitude, Pisces, but like bring in the love, bring in the appreciation, activate the emotions of inspiration or connection, whatever works for you, and really raise your frequency. Like use that as your technique to raise your frequency and get that up higher, so that inflow of money can flow in. All right, you all, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. Really helps this channel grow. Follow me on TikTok if you want daily astrology and coaching, soul coaching in its finest. So sending you so much love. Hope to see you in the Temple of the Wild Feminine Facebook group container for the Feminine Alchemy retreat. See you so soon. Lots of love to you.